Hey there, Todd Harger from Marketing for Hippies, and this is my second video today. A little bit of a shout out to Mark Silver, my colleague, in response to his video where he was talking about cancellations, refunds, and completions, and what do you do. So, yeah, I just thought I'd share some of my thoughts around this. His fundamental, well, I'm not going to spoil it. I'll put a link to his video below, and I think you should go watch what he has to say because I think it's very important. When somebody's completing work with me, I generally have the don't be a jerk policy, so if you're gonna, just give me 30 days notice if you're gonna complete. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes it actually feels on both sides like, yeah, you know what, today's the right day to complete it, let's just end it. Sometimes that feels right, but generally that's my guideline around that for my clients, and I talk about that early on in the relationship. In terms of cancellations, man, for workshops, this is the worst. Part of the way I've dealt with this is I just oversell the workshops if I can. I just intentionally get more people because I know that people are going to cancel. I know people will do it last minute. Some people will do it in ways that I appreciate and understand. Something came up, their car broke down, somebody got really sick, they got really sick. And some people do it in ways that it doesn't feel good. It seems, I just stayed up partying too late last night, sorry I can't make it, or, didn't realize how far away it was. So I just tend to oversell the events so that when people cancel, I don't mind. I also, on my workshops, I run them on a pay-what-you-can basis, the day-long and weekend workshops, and I have a deposit. So it's a $25 deposit for the day-long and a $100 deposit for the 3.5 day. So I think the cancellation policy is if you cancel within a week, we're all good. Or if we cancel within a week, you lose the money. And if it's before a week, then that's fine. I'll just refund it. I think it's usually something like that, or maybe 2 weeks for a weekend because that's a little harder to fill. But that's pretty clear. When they're paying, there's not a lot to read on that part, and that's one of the things. One of the things I have them do when they go to pay, they put their name, their email, etc. But then I also have a little checkbox saying I understand the cancellation policy is this, and they have to actually physically check it. I understand this is a pay-what-you-can event, and I need, I'll be paying. This is my deposit. I'll be paying more at the end if I want to check. So there's a few boxes that they have to check, so they can't say, oh, I didn't know, because the the boxes are there, and it's also pretty clear in the sales letter, and maybe even in the confirmation email. So part of this is you can have multiple reminders of what your cancellation policy is. So, and sometimes, within the week I'll still refund it, but usually I don't, because it's, But then I the way I came up with what the deposit would be is I asked myself, what's the amount that I would need to charge that even if they canceled, I'd feel okay. I wouldn't be bitter about it. Because I used to not do a deposit for the pay-what-you-can, and then I felt really bitter when people would cancel last minute. It was the worst. It felt really awful to to have to deal with that, because I can't fill the space. They canceled the day before, I can't fill it, and I got nothing for it. But if I'd known that there were that many fewer spaces, I probably would have hustled harder earlier on. And then with refunds, this is probably my favorite topic. So when somebody asks for a refund, what they're fundamentally saying is, this is different than I thought it would be. This isn't as good as I thought it would be. I thought it would be this, but it was this. It didn't meet my expectations in some way. So what it's letting you know when they ask for a refund is that in some way, unless a big family disaster, financial thing came up, what they're saying is this didn't meet my expectations. And so to me, the proper approach here is you say, thank you so much for letting me know, I believe it's not a fit. Here's the refund, as long as it feels fair, it makes sense. Give the refund. You say, it'd be really helpful to me to understand because I believe you it's not a fit. And what that tells me is something in my marketing approach was missing. Something in the sales letter was missing, or gave you the wrong idea. Somehow you didn't know that, for example, we were going to be using Facebook, or you thought there wouldn't be this much homework, or you thought there'd be more homework, or whatever it is. So what is it that I should change in my sales page and in the sales process, the marketing process of this, that would have made sure you never signed up in the first place? Because I believe it wasn't a fit. So how can we make sure that you wouldn't have signed up, and no drama, no hassle, and no expense of money and time would have had to happen? And they almost always have something. Sometimes it's just something very small. So, if you just said this, and there you go. And one of the ways, sometimes you'll write it in the sales page and it'll be so clear. You'll be saying it 3 times in the sales page and they'll still miss it. which is the reason I created the Are You Sure page, and I'll maybe put a link to that below, as a way of filtering, because I realized there were certain things, I was actually very clear in my sales page, and yet people were still buying a long sales letter, they don't read it, they just click the purchase button, and then it becomes a problem later for both of us. So to me, the refund, every time you get a request for a refund, it's giving you incredibly useful information on how you can make your sales and marketing materials better, your process better, so that only the right people get in the first place. So much of this with the refunds, cancellations, completions, to me is something that happens before. These are systems and mechanisms that you weave into your business well before you actually have the conversation with them. So those are some thoughts. I welcome your thoughts on what you do, what worked, or what you've seen work, and you can put those in a comment below. And that's it. And thanks, Mark Silver, for inspiring me, sending my love to you from the prairies over to the East Coast. Take care.